So hopefully you can see and hear me okay. And as I said, if you would like to at any time, thanks for the thumbs up, Anne, you're really welcome to unmute and talk through the session. That's absolutely fine. But let's just arrive here. There's a lot going on for Penny. I'm sure there's a lot going on for all of you. So I would like this next kind of 15 minutes of practice together really to be your opportunity to just settle into this body and into this moment in a way that gives you a sense of ease. And so we'll start with a grounding practice. And that's one way that we can really begin to feel into this body, to maybe get out of the head a little bit, all the to-do lists, all the future thoughts or the past thoughts, and use our hands and use our body as a vehicle of coming a bit more into the present moment, just through the feeling. I've just had a little mention. Yes, Debbie said, at least it's not raining. Yeah, there's always something, no matter how small it might be, and that might be a big thing for you, especially if you've got holes in the roof, that we can celebrate, that we can be thankful for. So let's rub our hands together and just feel the hands against one another, feel the warmth. And maybe begin to actually just massage the hands themselves, bring some supportive touch to the hands. So I'm just going to stroke my thumb across the palm, run with a little bit of firmness my fingers of the other hand along the length of the fingers that I'm massaging. And do the same on the other side, but you can move however, stroke the hands in a way that is delicious to your hand, in a way that meets the feeling of your hands. These hands are doers. They show up in the world and they tend usually to other people and other things. And we're going to invite these hands to tend to us a little bit as we open this practice together. So feeling that warmth, you're going to come down to the feet. And it may be that you're happy to lean forward and reach down to your feet, or you may be happy to bring your feet to you, or to rest the foot onto something closer to you so that you can reach it. And then I'm going to now just massage my feet a little bit. If I sit to the side, I'm just using my thumbs just to stroke down the sole of the foot. I like to squeeze the heel a little squeeze, and then rub along the toes. And then across the top of the foot in any way feels good. And maybe around the ankles just a little bit. Feel your way around your feet, these feet that carry you around all day. And it may be that you think, oh, I don't like my feet. You know, and I just invite you to as you touch them, to consider the sensation of the touch rather than what you're touching, if that's a possibility for you. And then let's let that foot find the ground again and just feel and notice the aliveness of your attention from one foot to the other. So the foot that I haven't touched feels a little dull, and the foot that I've touched feels quite tingly and can really feel it. And then let's do the same on the other side. So again, reaching down, lifting the foot closer to you onto something, or bringing the foot up onto the other leg. And again, if I spin to the side so that you can see your supportive touch, how does your foot want to be touched? Maybe it's just to hold it and to squeeze it, or just to hold it and feel the warmth of the hands against the foot. And rub. And just as you begin to massage, I'm coming around to the ball of the foot now and along the underside of the toes. Just noticing maybe how you're breathing, if you're happy to notice the breath at this point. And then across the top of the foot, and around the ankle. Maybe just taking some sighing breaths. Bring that foot down onto the floor. I'll turn around to the front again. And we're going to just stroke down through the legs, just through the calves and the shin. So you can, I'm bringing a little squeeze with my thumb and forefinger either side of the shin bones, and then wrapping around to the calves. Give a little squeeze and a wobble. Maybe a couple of times. Just see what feels nice, and just notice what there is to notice about the sensation in the legs. If you find you're holding the breath, or there's a sense of tension in the breath, just take a few yawns or sighs. Wiggle the jaw. And then come up to the knees. And I like to circle my hands around the knees. And finding any places around the knees that feel maybe a little more tender or could use a little bit more warmth. And then I'm going to use from the heel of my hand across the palm from the top of the hip. So again, if I sit to the side, so from the thigh bone meets the hip joint, to press and slide down, and then slide back up to the hip joint, give a little circle. And find a movement and a rhythm that works for you. So a little massage across the tops and the side of the thighs. You feel comfortable too, maybe also a little bit along the inner thigh. And then making your way up to the hips, side of the hips, giving a little rub, and then maybe taking the hands, if the body, if it's available, around the back, so that we're meeting the back of the pelvis and the sacral area, and just bringing a little bit of warmth in there. If the wrists get a little tired, you can bring the backs of the hands into that space, just rubbing, tapping, whatever might feel nice. And then we bring the hands around onto the belly. And as with everything in this class, you decide to skip bits out if you prefer. You could imagine the hands on the body if you prefer, move them just in front of the body. But if you are comfortable to massage the belly now, we're circling the hands with a gentle pressure in the kind of, what am I trying to say, direction of the digestive system. So up on the right side and down on the left. And we might pause if we're happy to, just for a moment with the hands on the belly, roll the shoulders, drop them down. And have a sense of the body from the belly down to the feet. Have a sense of the body, feeling the feet still on the ground. Oh, or sigh. Feeling the pelvis on the chair. You could take a little rock in the pelvis, feel the weight of the bottom. You might like to rest back into the chair at this point, take a little support if you're feeling a little tired, or you might like to self-support still, using the muscles of the center of you to keep you upright. And then if it feels all right to you to bring the hands up onto the chest today, either fingertips, could be a really light touch, or it could be quite a firm palm against chest. As you kind of circle or rub, or just hold the hands there, feeling the warmth, feeling that supportive touch of our hands tending to our body. A couple of breaths, still feeling the feet on the floor. Sigh or yawn, and maybe again just pausing for a moment just to notice how it feels. Is it okay just to feel this way, just for this moment? And we're going to take these warm hands, we're going to hold around the wrist, give a little squeeze and release as we work the hands up to the elbows, up the arms, towards the shoulders, squeeze and release, and then back down the arms, massaging the hands, maybe swapping different hand on top this time as you make your way up the arms to the shoulders. A little squeeze and then back down. And before you release, just give yourself a little hug and take a little rock from side to side. You could really wrap your arms around your body now and give yourself a really good squeeze. You might like to let the head drop, and you could just pause for a moment, or you could keep rocking, squeeze the itchiness if you prefer, and just take a breath or two, maybe a sigh or a yawn. See if you can find some softness around the shoulders. Yeah. Let the hands release, let the hair come up, and just give the arms a bit of a shake. And then rest the hands somewhere comfortable for a moment just onto the body. And just begin to roll the shoulders. And I'm using my webcam today, and so I'm apologizing if the focus comes in and out a little bit as I move. A couple of rolls of the shoulders, lifting them up to the ears and squeezing them back behind us and pressing them down towards the hips. Releasing and then repeating, lifting and squeezing, drawing back as much as you would like and squeezing and pressing them down, squeezing them down, and then just letting effort go. Maybe taking that one more time to lift and hold, to squeeze back and hold, to press down and hold. Notice if you're holding your breath, a sigh or a yawn and release. Yeah, let's come up to the neck and the shoulders with the hands. And just give a little rub. It can be quite useful to be quite firm along the side of the neck. So to maybe stroke the hands quite firmly. Just from in between the ear and the jaw. Down as we kind of begin to stimulate now, as we have been already with the sighing, with the stroking, this vagus nerve, the biggest nerve of our calming part of the nervous system. Little squeeze and release maybe across the top of the shoulders, being aware of any tension here. As we show ourselves a little bit of tenderness with our hands. And then massaging the face in a way that feels good to you. So I'm going to scoot this morning my hands from my eyebrow center under the eyes, down the jawline to the chin, and then up the midline, over the top of the eyes, down the side of the face and the jawline to the chin, up the midline gently under the eyes, to the side and down. And then one more time, I'm going to take this little gentle stroke all the way up to the forehead, crown of the head to the hairline rather than out. And then little tip taps with the fingers. Just gently around the head, just noticing the sound, feeling. Might like to bring it onto the neck, maybe onto the top of the head. And then maybe using the fingertips on the scalp with a firm, comfortable pressure as you just move the fingertips through the hair on the scalp in a way that feels good. Massaging the top of the head. Noticing how, we have muscle that wraps around the top of the head. It's very close to the bone. It can still hold an amazing amount of tension here. And let the hands come down for a moment. Notice how you've chosen to place them. Palms down or palms up. Maybe on the body. And just take a couple of breaths. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Long breath. Twice more. Just let the breath come out however it would like to. Silent always sound. We take a yawn. And just notice how it feels in the body. And then let's bring our hands onto our thighs. We're going to take a little bit of breath work. We're going to bring some rhythm to the body. And we're going to cross the body with our rhythm. So we're also going to be activating different parts of the brain by crossing the midline of the body. So I'm going to tap my hand to the opposite shoulder and then back down onto the body. And then do the same on the other side. So this is just what the movement looks like. Hopefully it feels quite available and quite simple. And if it isn't, find a cross movement that works for you. So maybe it's just hand to hand rather than to shoulder. See what feels comfortable for you and then slow it down to your breath. So you might breathe in to raise one hand to the shoulder. Breathe out to bring the hand to the leg. Breathe in, hand to the opposite shoulder. Breathe out, hand to the leg. And just stay with this rhythm of breath. You don't have to move as slowly as me. you might feel that your initial breath rate is quite fast. And just work with that. And just notice as we practice whether there's any slowing of the breath. And make the movement last as long as the breath in, as long as the breath out. Find the rhythm that feels really slow and comfortable in your body. How slow can this rhythm be for you to still feel comfortable today? All the while feeling the feet on the floor. And feeling the hands as they find the body and as they leave the body, moving through the air. It's a very mindful experience. Crossing the body, slowing the breath, being present to that feeling of hand on body and in air. Once more to each side. And then just shrug the shoulders, lift into the ears, hold, and drop. Lift up, squeeze and hold. Imagine that you could squeeze all the tension up into the shoulders, and as you breathe out, let it go. One more squeeze and lift your tension all the way up into your shoulders, and then let it go with a drop the hands either side of the body and just dance the shoulders a little bit. Lift one, then the other, and see how loose you can get. This looks deceptively easy, can be very difficult if we're holding a lot of tension in the arms. So you can just shrug and drop both together, get that sense of dropping, and then do one and then the other. And then see how free you can get, like a little jiggle, a little dance through the shoulders, and then a little flick of the wrists. So if you could just flick the tension out of the shoulders, of the arms, of the hands, just give it a shake. The shake could lift from the body so the hands could come out to the side, and even come a little bit up. Keep the shoulders going once or twice more, and then rest the hands. Just notice how you feel. Notice where the mind is, whether it was possible to keep the mind in those experiences of sensation. And let's bring some movement now through the body. Let's drop the head over to the side and bring the ear towards the shoulder. See if you can really open up through the side of the body. Drop the opposite hand down. So if the head's dropping to the right, left hand falls away, vice versa. And then see if you can depress, so push the top of the shoulder of the hand that's hanging, push it down away from the ear and just hold that press for a moment. See if you can keep the breath flowing freely in the body. Release the press, bring the hand back onto the shoulder, and then bring the head up through center and go the other way. Start just with the head. Can you give away the weight to the head? If you're up here with your shoulders, can you soften them down? And then drop the opposite arm to the side. Just leave it hanging there if that's enough, or press the shoulder down. Imagine there's a hand on top of that shoulder pushing it down to exaggerate that sense of stretch in the neck. Hold that stretch for a moment. Find the breath. And then release that press. Bring the hand back onto the body. And then freely move the head from side to side, bringing the ear to the shoulder. Notice how fast you're moving. Notice if your thoughts are fast. And then see if you can slow the movement down. How slow will the body allow you to move? Bring the head to center. Keep that movement nice and slow. We're going to keep the body as still as we can as we just rotate the head so that we're really looking mobilize the joints in the neck. Through center to the other side. Super simple to start. Feeling the feet on the floor. Noticing if you're pushing the belly forward. And can you settle a little bit into the sit bone? So you carrying on as I sit to the side. So sometimes when we're sitting, we might lift the tailbone up and push the belly forward. So can we drop a little bit into the sit bones? Can we just drop a little bit into the center of the pelvis as we turn the head? One more time from side to side. And then bring the chin back to center and bring it as close to the chest as you can. And as you bring the neck down, can you keep the rest of the spine quite long? So can we avoid rounding? Can we just bring the chin down? And then just lift the chin up towards the ceiling. Now the spine will move a little bit, but can we really focus on the neck? One more time. And then if it feels comfortable to, let's take some half head rolls. So let's bring the chin towards the chest, keeping the rest of the spine as long as we can let it be. And then roll the head from side to side. And as you come down with the chin, bringing it close to the body as you can. Rolling the head from side to side. Just feeling whatever you can feel, whatever you notice in the body as you roll the head. And you might like to just say to the body today, I see you. I feel that. It's okay. That resonates with you. You could say those things. I see you. I feel you. Maybe it's tension, tightness, maybe it's spaciousness. And it's okay, whatever it is. The head come back to center. Interlace your fingers and bring your hands around the back of your head. And first of all, lift your head up and drop your shoulders down. Drop your shoulders down. So if I sit to the side, open the elbows a comfortable distance out to the side so we feel a beginning sense of stretch through the chest. And see if you can rest your head, the weight of your head back into your hands. See if you can really let the head get a little bit heavy. So we're kind of supporting this back bend by supporting the weight of the head. Drop a little bit into the sit bones, get a little bit heavy in the center of the pelvis. Imagine that you're lengthening through the front body and open the chest as much as you would like. It might be that you imagine lying on the grass, staring up at the clouds in the sky, or settling down on the beach, feeling the warmth of the sun on the face. You might like to bring a little image into this. And then we're going to use the arms to bring a little stretch to the neck. So we're going to bring the elbows towards one another. The hands are very much on the back of the head, so not on the top, not on the neck, on the back of the head. Elbows come in and we look down towards the belly. And we're trying to keep the spine as long as it can be, just stretching the neck. We can give the elbows a little wiggle, make sure they're nice and loose. And then we don't pull the head down, we just slowly begin to rest the weight of the arms and the hands onto the head. And because the hands are interlaced, they're kind of holding one another without much effort. And you may feel a very rich sensation from the base of the skull, down along the length of the neck, into that space between the shoulder blades. Hold it for as long as you're comfortable to. Feet on the floor. Take a few easy breaths. Sigh or yawn. And then take the weight off the head, lift the elbows, comfortable distance out to the side. And when there's no weight on the head, let the head come up and then release the arms. All the way down and bring the hands back together in front of the chest. Yeah, just notice how it feels through the neck and the shoulders. Yeah. And then we're just going to take a few sounding breaths before we move on. So we're going to bring together some sounds that we've been using over the weeks. And if these are new to you, don't worry. It doesn't really matter what sound we make. Breathing out through the mouth enables us to lengthen the breath out, which puts a little brake on the heartbeat. And it just slows the system down. So if you don't like the sound that I'm making, choose a sound that you want to make and just allow that sound to come out as quietly or as loudly as you feel comfortable to, just to help that breath get longer. But also feeling that sound, having that sound moving through the body gives like a little internal sonic massage, if you like, to the body. So we'll start with the hands together and we'll movement of the hands first. So we're going to breathe in, take the hands a comfortable distance above the head. Turn the palms away from one another, and I'm sorry you can't see them today, and bring them down and back in front of the heart. So just trace that movement. Find a comfortable expression of that movement. It may be that the arms don't fully lengthen, that's fine. Maybe that you want to take them super straight and lift your face and look up towards the sky as you do it. You make the movement as big or as small as you want it to be. And then we're going to find the breath. So we're going to breathe in and reach up, feeling the feet on the floor all the time, and breathe out and let the arms come down. And don't feel like you have to move at my rhythm. Find your own breath rhythm, but breathe in and reach up, and breathe out and bring the hands down. And then we're going to add in the sound. So in a moment, I'm going to take one more that way. As I breathe out, I'm going to make the sounds ah, ooh, and all together smoothly. So it sounds a little bit like this. Ah, ooh. And you move as fast as you like, make the sounds that you're comfortable with. Take a few more of those, breathing in. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Pausing for a moment with the hands at the heart, and then we're going to reverse the movement. So I'm going to sweep the arms out to the side. I'm going to start with the palms facing back, turn them forward, turn them up, reach the arms up above the head. See if you can find the hands without looking maybe, and then bring them down through the midline. We'll take that movement again, reach the arms out to the side. I've got the palms behind me. Palms forward. Notice the stretch changes through the chest and the hands and the wrist. Palms up and gather up. If that gets too complicated, just take the arms out to the side and lift them up. Don't worry about changing the hand position. It's going to be palms behind, forward, up, and we'll take that quite quickly. And then hands up above the head and back to the heart. We're going to bring the breath in now. So let's breathing in. Breathing out. Speeding up the hand movement, breathing in. And breathing out. One more time at your rhythm. And then with the breath, 3 times with the ah, ooh, sound when you're ready. Breathing in. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Ah, ooh. Rest the hands now where you might like to bring them back onto the body. to bring a little circling around the upper chest or around the belly. You might like to just rest the hands on the lap. Find a place for the hands and just rest the shoulders. Maybe let the chin drop if that's comfortable for you to let the gaze drop also. And just take a couple of breaths and just be very present to the feeling of the body now. Can you find the body in the spaces between the soles of the feet and the crown of the head? Can you feel those places where body meets contact with its environment, through the chair, through the ground, through the air? And can you become aware of your breath in a way that is comfortable to you? Maybe it's just to imagine the breath. Maybe you like to hear it. Feel it moving through the nose or moving under the hand. Another moment more. Letting the hand down. Just check the time. So we're going to take a couple of sun salutations, sort of variations of, and I'm going to sit to the side for this one. And you might like to sit more onto the edge of your chair, move your feet a little further forward if that's available to you. I'm going to bring the hands together in front of the chest. And I'm quite close to the wall here, so I'm going to accommodate with my hands. Sitting up, self-supporting through the spine, dropping into that center part of the pelvis so we're not rounding and we're not pushing the belly forward. We feel like we've got some length through the back body. And we're going to breathe in and reach the arms a comfortable distance up. And as we breathe out, take the arms nice and wide. You could bend the elbows as you bring them down onto the body. Slide the hands towards the knees as you round your back, tucking your tailbone. Dropping the head if that's available to you and coming into this little back bend. And then you're going to slide your hands towards your hips. And as you do so, move your pelvis towards your hands. So now you are looking to open through the front body. Lift the throat and the face comfortably towards the sky. And you could add in a little squeeze of the shoulders back here if that was nice. Then we move between those two movements. Slide the hands to the knees, tuck the tailbone round and rest the head. Slide the hands to the hips. Move the tailbone away from the body and open the front body, little back bend. And just take this a few times, find the breath. Move as slowly or as fast as you want. One more times. Make this your last repetition of this little back bend. Sorry, what am I trying to say? Forward fold and back bend, and then come back to neutral. We're going to step the left leg back and we're going to tuck the left toes under. So we're going to get a stretch through the front of the ankle, knee and into the thigh. If it's available to you, that left knee can drop towards the ground so that we begin to open maybe more richly through here because the weight of the thigh bone is allowing the thigh to soften down from the hip. Be really steady on the feet wherever the feet are. And then we're going to bring our hands together again in front of the chest. They can stay here, we can reach them forward, or we can reach them up above the head. And maybe lift the chest and look a little up. And notice if you're really pushing the belly forward. And again, can you drop into the tailbone so you're really nice and grounded as you reach up. Taking a breath in here. We're going to let the hands find each other above the head if they're lifted up and bring them back toward the chest. Feeling really steady in our seat. We're now going to rotate towards this bent leg. So we're going to move the chest towards the bent leg. Really long in the spine. And then take the hands where it's comfortable. So maybe you just want to drop them down. Maybe you want to take the left hand onto the outer right thigh and the right arm behind you. And maybe the head is happy and comfortable to look behind you. Feel this twist. Stay heavy in the chair, heavy in the right foot on the ground, and light as you can feel through the spine. Take one more breath. And then slowly coming back to center. Slowly coming back to center. Use the hands if you need to replace the left foot onto the ground. And today, let's bring our hands onto the hips and let's just circle a little bit through the pelvis. So we're adding in some movements into our sun salutation. So I'm just stepping my knees a comfortable distance apart and beginning to sway the body through the pelvis. And you can make this as big or as small as you would like. So the feet can be quite wide. You could bring the chest towards the legs. You could bring the back towards the back of the chair. You could make the shoulders dance if you wanted. You could move in the opposite direction. Feel free just to take some free movement here for you. What might feel nice? You might like to just pause and dip, round and rock. If you're not sure, just staying with that circular movement until it feels a bit more familiar and maybe a bit friendlier. See how it goes. And then let's find our way. Let's make those circles, no matter how big they were, get a little bit smaller. If we're beginning to kind of circle right back into the feet and into the chair, come through that movement into stillness. Pause for a moment, and then we take the right leg back. So we're going to tuck the toes under. So hopefully you can see here, just resting onto the top of my foot. And that may be where you are. And if that gets too much at any time, just bring the foot to the floor. But we're challenging a little bit through the front of the ankle and through the knee as comfortably as we can in this moment. Or that right knee might drop, and mine is hanging, if you can see, between the floor. So I'm getting some gravitational pull on that right thigh bone. Left foot firmly on the floor, nice and stable on the chair, hands at the heart. Find that length. Choose to keep the hands here, or choose to extend them, or maybe you just want to give yourself a hug today, or reach them up towards the sky. Make sure it works for you and relax the shoulders down wherever you are. Soft through the mouth. You take a yawn or a sigh. We do that a lot, right? Yawning and sighing is a quick way to tap in to that resting part of the system. Take one more breath here. And then bring the hands together and back in front of the chest. Keep the breath flowing. We're going to take a twist now towards the bent leg. So we're rotating the chest towards the leg. And we're staying really steady through the foot and steady through the pelvis. And then we just bring the hands where we want them to go, wherever's comfortable. So you may find this might work for you. You may prefer to be here. Just let the hands naturally travel to the place they want to be. Keep the spine long, the foot and the pelvis heavy. And just see where the chin and the head would like to go. And breathe. Become aware of the breath in a way that's comfortable for you. One more breath. And slowly coming back to center. Back to center, bringing the sole of both feet onto the floor. Choosing to keep the feet where they are or to step them a little way forward. Now we're going to forward fold. You could also lean onto the desk in front of you, the back of the bed, a chair, or you can lean toward the body itself. With the legs a little bit longer, it's more sensation fueled through the back of the legs. So we'll begin to hinge from the hips and then rest the hands wherever we feel comfortable. It may just be somewhere here. And then let the back round, let the head rest.
If you feel the body getting closer towards the chest, towards the sofa or towards the body, you can come onto the elbows. You may find that it's quite available for you to come down towards the body itself. But find a place where you can actually sustain. You can be with that sensation. And you can be in a sense of ease. Take a few breaths, maybe a sigh or a yawn. Or if you like making the sounds out, you could repeat them a little here. See how soft and heavy you can let the body get. And taking care to not feel dizzy, using the hands to walk them back up the body when you're ready. To bring the spine a little bit upright, and the head is the very last thing to come up. We step the feet in, and then we take a little back bend. So you might like to just bring the hands onto the thighs. You might like to bring the palms of the hands onto the back of the pelvis, or you could hold the chair. So here, more gentle, a little bit more exaggerated here, and then quite a deep opening through the chest if we're holding the back of the chair. So you decide. We can draw the shoulders back. Notice how the chest begins to open. And then we can decide how much we want to lift the chest towards the sky. And take a breath or two. Remembering that you can come out of the shape whenever you want. And feel that breath opening the chest space. Filling the front of the body. Spaciousness with breath. And release. I can see some little furry creatures coming towards us. I always like to see the animals come visit while we're practicing. And then just have a little shake. How feels good? Shake the legs, shake the arms, little jiggle. What might the body need? Maybe you just need to stand up for a minute. Oh, have a big stretch. Maybe you want to stay on the chair. Maybe you want to stand up and sit down a couple of times. If you feel that there's energy, you need to move out of the body. We can practice leaning forward towards the feet, pushing down through the feet, pushing through the hands and coming up to stand up, reach the arms up above the head. And as we breathe out, find the hands back on the body, bend the knees and sit back into the chair. So if you don't want to actually stand up, just leaning forward, pressing the hands down and pushing into the feet could be enough. Or one more time, standing up, reaching the arms. Sorry, you've lost me in the recording. Reach the arms up above the head, just have a really good stretch. Then come down. Oh. And we've come towards the end of the practice. We've actually done quite a lot of movement today. And so I just would really invite you just to be with how that feels in the body. I realise we've got a shorter amount of time for our end relaxation today, so next week we will have a longer relaxation. But just get comfortable now, so feel free to sit into your chair, to lean back in the chair, to put a pillow across the belly. I'll just grab one to demonstrate. So you could walk the feet forward. Just rest the elbows onto a pillow, rest the hands. You could lean back into the chair. If I sit to the side, might be like this. Excuse me. Let the head rest. This might be a comfortable place to be. If you had wall support, you could also bring a cushion behind the back of the upper back and the shoulders and the head. You could also have one here. Or if it's comfortable and available to lie on the ground or the bed or the chest. Thanks, Penny. See you later. You're really welcome just to come and rest with the head and the knees supported. And with your eyes open or your eyes closed, just take a few moments
Just to come back into the feeling of the body. You can choose where you take your attention. You can move towards or away from any sensation as you wish. Just let that kind light of attention come into the body herself. And place the body in your attention in this shape, here and now. By feeling the points of contact between your body and the supports beneath and around you. Feel that support. Feel the steadiness, the firmness of that support. Feel that support rising up to hold your body. Become aware of your breath. Hold it lightly or richly, as you wish, in your attention. Becoming aware of this body, breathing in this place, here and now. If you would like, imagine that that breath out has the power to carry your body back into rest. As if each breath out would carry your body more richly into the supports you can feel. As if the body could give up effort of holding movement. You could let the chair and the ground hold it gently and firmly in this place. Just for a few moments. The body can rest. If it speaks to you too, you could let your hands come into relationship with the body to rest upon them. Maybe just on the lap. And feel the support of your own hands on your body. Feel their weight, their warmth. Body meeting body. Body held by breath. If you would like, just for a moment, to let go of the effort thinking, just for the next moment, as you just feel the body breathing. go with your attention. See where it goes. And just notice how you feel as we draw this practice to a close. Just notice how difficult or how available it was for you to be in this space, to move in this way. Resistances, celebrations, just to notice and to remember it's just a practice, just how we are in this moment, in this practice today. And thank you so much for joining. Slowly and gradually come around in your own way as you would like to close practice. You might like to give yourself a bit of a hug, to flutter open and close the eyes, to stretch, or to move super slow. And as always, there's no rush to come around. If you need to, it's 12 o'clock. If you need to leave promptly, please feel free, just pop